Hey everyone. The light situation is kinda sorta fixed. Definitely sorry about last time. Nothing. It's definitely retrograde shadow period. Let's just say it. But still, we got everything kind of rocking on again. Uh, Oracle and tarot readings tonight. Forgive me. I am definitely not fully myself, but already did the things to help me be able to get my brain in read gear. So at least we're good there. Let's get the comment up real quick. So the way to get your readings tonight, whether it be Oracle with the mixed deck, Oracle with the Goddess deck, or handy dandy tarot cards, is payments are done through CashApp or Venmo. You'll be able to see where to send it. Excuse me. Hydration. But you'll be able to see where either in the comment section or in the description, whichever you choose to go to. Just make sure that you put paid and your method so that we can make sure that everyone's in the right order. And I do apologize, but no free cards tonight. Likely going to do a few collectives, but otherwise, sorry. Oh, and Patreon members. I do apologize for how behind it was in getting the post up for your discount code, but that is in your Patreon feed now. Do make sure that you put that in the notes for Cash App or Venmo, depending on what you're using, so that we can make sure that you get your discount. Oh, and for those of you that don't know, I do have a Patreon. Link is in the bio. And it's an excellent thing for you because typically my live reads are, as you see, 15 for 10 or 5 for a single card. My regular readings are $25 for 15 minutes or 40 for half an hour. But with my Patreon, you actually get a full monthly personalized reading pending on the tier that you grab, along with a few other goodies. And that discount code I mentioned, yes. Because instead of instead of 15 for 10 minutes, it's actually $5 when you're a Patreon member, and single cards are just $1. So definitely worth it. Joining regardless of what tier that you join in on. Definitely recommend. And even better, I do also for my Patreon members, pending on the tier, offer one-on-one sessions instead of looking at your month, any specific thing that you've got going on. But sorry, I had something weird on my lap table that I typically use for my readings, and it was a little bothersome. But just a heads up, I will only be live for 45 minutes to an hour, depending on how busy we get. And in the meantime, let's do a couple of collectives because we do have retrograde going full blown tomorrow. And I don't know about you guys, but I have definitely been feeling it. The brain foggy, coming at very inopportune times, not feeling very sure I can trust my judgment when it comes to a few personal matters. Gotta love that retrograde in Pisces. Gotta love it. But as far as our first collective read, might want to make sure that all chats are visible there. Because that would be awkward. But anyway. Oh, and if you didn't catch my Zodiac by Zodiac reading for this retrograde that's definitely available in the videos. Highly recommend checking it out for your sun, moon, and rising sign, because your top three really are your top three in helping you navigate this crazy existence we call life. But in the meantime, I'm actually curious by element on what all we can look forward to this retrograde season. And mostly what our biggest challenges are going to be as a whole. So if you are we always start with Earth. So you know what? Let's give our air people a little love in being the first ones this round. So if your sun, moon, or rising is in an air sign, let's see what you're going to be looking forward to the most as far as your biggest challenge this retrograde. Well, that was easy. So for our air signs, we have a reverse King of Wands. So it definitely looks like miscommunication is going to be happening to you out the wazoo, but also a lot of creative blocks. You're going to be ramming your head against walls trying to get the words out when it comes out penguin, squirrel, banana, when you're trying to say, I would like a cup of coffee. And your creative blocks, because you are an amazing individual when it comes to figuring out a solution and giving it some flair. This time, though, for the next few weeks, it's going to be a little rough. So, sincerest apologies, my air signs. Next up, we'll actually do the water guys, because you guys are always last. So if your sun, moon, or rising is a water sign, let's see what your biggest challenge is going to be for this retrograde. Oh, you got a bit of a double hitter. So for our water people, your biggest challenge this retrograde is we have a reverse 7 of coins and a reverse page of coins. So that's telling me that you're going to be dropping the ball and preparing for a few things and making sure that a few T's are crossed, a few I's are dotted, that you actually patched up that wall physically or metaphorically, whichever it may be. And it's because of those delightful details that you forgot to do and making sure that you covered your butt every which way. You're going to be running into some troubles. We have a reverse page of coins, which is letting me know that most misfortunately, my dear, couple of opportunities are going to get passed by, and unfortunately it looks like also you're going to be stuck in a rut for a little while longer than just the retrograde. So while I did say let's see what our biggest struggles are going to be this retrograde, I was really praying it'd be nothing worse than a paper cut, but here we are. All right, earth signs. If your sun, moon, or rising is in an earth sign, let's see what your biggest challenge is going to be. And don't worry, guys, with this one, I will be right there with you in the trenches because my moon is an earth sign. Oof. Okay. So, reverse 2 of swords. There's going to be a lot of confusion and a lot of inner conflict. You are definitely going to be, and I'll be right there with you, so don't worry. We're all going to be dealing with this inner conflict and just all around confusion. Things are not going to be looking right on any level. And it's bad enough that it was already looking like that in the first place, being in Pisces, where, everything is just dreamy and kind of foggy. Apparently for us, it's going to be a little harsher than typical Joe Schmo with this one. So, you know how Mercury retrograde, you're supposed to be definitely checking everything out before you jump in. And before you make any decisions, if your sun, moon, or rising is in an earth sign, make sure that you're quadruple checking, if you will. And if you're just joining, just doing a couple of collective reads to see our biggest struggles on what they're going to be for this retrograde. But if you would like a reading, feel free to follow the instructions either in the comment section or in the description. But last and absolutely not least, our final contestant for what our major issues are going to be this retrograde season is our fire guys. And as my sun and rising is in a fire sign, yeah. And if any of the readings I just did were for your sign, feel free to leave them in the comments. Trust me, we need to band together on this one. But for our fire people. All right. Well, it looks like my tarot cards are definitely trying to give me a little bit of a brain work here because it's definitely hard to find the pinch points, if you will, in an upright Two of Cups and an upright Two of Coins. So this is definitely telling me that you guys might actually be catching a break and you'll see issues in these areas, but not necessarily have issues because upright Two of Cups means that with you and typically your romantic partner, this could also be just an excellent connection with a best friend that you have to the point that it's almost like soulmates. You might be seeing issues where there's really none, which, hey, not necessarily a bad thing, but definitely, if you're seeing issues that aren't actually there, ask yourself, why am I seeing these issues? What's going on here that I'm making a problem out of nothing? And also with your balancing act here, okay? Two of Coins is all about balance between work and personal life, your social calendar and your you time. You're going to be seeing issues in these locations where they're actually fine from what Spirit's telling me. And honestly, I'm kind of hoping because my goodness, usually I'm a harbinger and this actually looks like good things for fire signs. So, hey, high five to you guys. Not being my personal deck, I'm definitely not taking the reading for myself and hoping for good things just because. Oh, that's funny. I just cut my deck. And if you know anything about tarot, you know the Fool card is typically the start of the major arcana, and the World is the end of the major arcana. So, hey, we'll take that as a sign for all of us that, you know what, while things do have a beginning and an end with both of these upright, let's take it as a sign that this retrograde will actually have an interesting beginning, but everything will come to fruition that we're still hoping for. All right. And just a quick reminder, I'll be on for the next half hour to 45 minutes. So if anyone would like a reading, get them in while you can. Excuse me. Apologies, someone looking to schedule a reading. I think they forgot that Wednesdays are at 6 p.m. are my lives now. It's all right. We'll definitely get back to them after. But in the meantime, let's do a collective with my mixed oracle deck. And if you don't know about my mixed oracle deck already, it's actually 2 oracle decks that I put together because they work way too well together versus separate. Separate, they weren't bad, but together they're awesome. And it's the Moonology deck and the Shapeshifter oracle deck. And these guys are actually really good for both practical and spiritual questions, much like my Lenormand. And if you've never had a Lenormand reading, definitely make sure that you schedule a time with me to get one of those soon, because when it comes to practical matters, my God, are they actually better than tarot or oracle, if you ask me. I absolutely love them. But unfortunately, with a setup like this, it doesn't work out quite as well because it is typically anywhere from a 5 to 9 card spread on an average basis. But if you know me and my readings, just because it's intended for one style of cards doesn't mean that extras don't pop out. And if the extras pop out, I do let them go, which is one of the reasons why I go by time instead of by card, because I've seen one card readings just because there was that much information trying to get out at one time actually turn into anywhere from a 4 to 6 card reading. So with the jumpers that come out, if they're coming out, I let them go. But for a collective with my mix oracle deck, I'm actually going to get some quick inspiration from the Everybody Tarot real quick. All right, so where should I direct the mixed oracle deck for our collective, for our friends? All right. So for the... So you know how I just said a little bit ago single cards can go up to like 4 or 6 sometimes? Definitely looks like where I need to direct it is someone somewhere is definitely dealing with busting their butt and doing their best to learn all kinds of things about the traditions in their life and their core values, which, hey, I am all about making sure that your core values are yours and not just what you picked up along the way without really knowing why you have those values. Why do they matter so much to you? So I'm glad that you're doing a lot of learning and expanding on finding out what your core values are and how they pertain to you. And it definitely looks like it's been doing beautiful things for your personal drive and also, more importantly, just how well you look at yourself and realize that you are fabulous. But you've got the drawback where you seem to be looking at a lot of your past and more or less getting lost in those memories. So, with all that being said, whoever that's for, let's see how we can help you out with being so lost in those memories and how to make them fond recollections versus a drowning pool that you seem to have a hard time getting out of. Oh, and by the way, Bake 215. Thanks for joining. Sorry, whenever I'm here, my eyes get weird sometimes when it comes to seeing everything clearly. I don't know if it's time to go back to the optometrist or just... But for a buddy that is having a hard time with being lost in those memories. Woo! Cards going everywhere. Where'd you go? There you are. All right, so we've got 4. We have a new moon in Libra, a reverse full moon in Pisces, a reverse north node, and a reverse Snow White and her animal friends. So what this is telling me is that, okay, all right, so my poor friend that's lost in the memories. It looks like what's killing you the most in those memories is you probably had a new love that looked amazing, but very quickly it threw you out of whack completely in being able to balance what you truly valued in your life and what was just around you as a distraction. And unfortunately, all of that imbalance between what mattered to you and what really shouldn't have, it not only threw you out of whack as far as your priorities, but your own personal comfort and making sure that you had healthy boundaries around you, which caused everyone to start doubting you and how you really were as a person. But the thing is keep in mind that you're relearning and expanding your core values and what matters to you and getting back to a person that has all the reason on the planet to be a confident and wonderful individual. So I would say ask yourself, why do these memories and why do these past events still matter? Should you keep them as a memory for learning from? Absolutely. Abso-freaking-lutely. But remember, you've done the work. So now it's time to let yourself be a knight again. Okay. So whoever that reading was for, you definitely have all of my sympathies because it really is difficult sometimes when what your values are get a little twisted by something or someone. But remember, it's not that hard to go back and ask yourself what still matters to me, and more importantly, should it? And just a quick heads up, because I know that a lot of people are still having love issues. We are after Valentine's Day, but sometimes the issues don't go away. I just want to remind everyone that love is tricky. Love does require a lot of work and effort, but my readings are for guidance purposes only, and what you choose to do with your reading after, I am not at fault. Sorry, but I just had a reminder earlier today. I actually had a interesting conversation with someone whose partner got a reading with me, and they didn't like all the things that came out. No cheating as far as what I was picking up or anything like that, just a lot of things that needed to be talked about. But if you've ever caught my single card self-care Saturday readings, then you already know all about my Goddess Oracle deck. And keep in mind that my readings, when it comes to my Goddess deck, aren't just for women because, let's face it, men have energy and feels too. But it's more or less about retrieving a power in yourself so that, yeah, it's nice to have the self-care with the spa day and the bubble bath, But self-care is also ensuring that you are working with your power to the best of your ability and for your best good. So that being said, let's do a quick single card after I plug my computer in to make sure that we stay good. And get rid of that notification. But, oh, by the way, we are not that far from the amount of followers I need for YouTube to be able to do lives on my phone that has a far better camera on it. So if you're not following the channel yet, definitely please subscribe real quick, because the sooner we can get there, the sooner we can have better video quality. But let's do a quick 12 card for all of our buddies on how best to work with their energies throughout the retrograde season. And while I am fabulous, give me 5 seconds to make sure I got my list up for making sure I get all 12 of you without losing track. Oh, bugger. Okay, there we are. Sorry, my list wasn't playing nice with me for a second there. And lucky for all of us, my children have been rather adamant about how I need to clean up my language. So whenever you hear biscuits or muffin sickles or anything like that, insert whatever you feel like. But for our Aries people, let's see what you need to embody or unlock for your retrograde in Pisces. And just a quick reminder, that starts tomorrow. And if for whatever reason you didn't catch the retrograde reading I did for all 12 signs already, as far as what you're going to deal with, where the brain fog is going to be the worst and all that fun stuff, definitely go to the videos real quick. It should be pretty close to the top. But for Aries, we've actually got a bit of a triple for you. We have Sarasvati, a reverse Sekhmet, and an upright Mat. So with Mat and Sarasvati, we have express yourself through creative activities, and this situation will be handled in a fair and just manner. So it definitely looks like creativity and faith in whatever justice system you're dealing with, whether it be a spiritual one, legal one, or even just at work or home. Creativity and trusting that things will go the way that they're supposed to are going to be the best things to help you out, because it looks like your main issue is going to be, typically Sekhmet is, you are stronger than you think you are, and your strength assures a happy outcome. You're going to feel weaker than a kitten that's less than 2 days old. But if you are able to know that you have creative abilities to work with instead of against, and you're able to trust that whatever justice system you're dealing with is actually going to be going in the right direction, you're not powerless, because you do have the power of creativity, and you do have the power to know who and what and when to trust. That's more power than what people give credit for. So, while you're feeling powerless, ask yourself, have you always been able to use your creative flair? And you trusted these people before. Why not trust them now? Next up is our Taurus people. And please keep in mind that all of my zodiac readings are for your sun, moon, and rising sign. So while this one won't be fun to jump around like my videos, still pretty handy to stick around for. And again, if any of these are helping you out, definitely feel free to comment your sign, because I am honestly quite interested sometimes to see how things are going for my people. But for Taurus, you have Sulis. Her message is spend time near water such as a lake, river, or the ocean to recharge your batteries. So you know how I typically say that self-care isn't just the bubble bath? It definitely looks like in your case it very well might be for your Mercury retrograde to help you deal with all of the issues, and we definitely saw a few with my elements reading, but to be able to deal with all the craziness that's about to be going on in your world, bubble baths and maybe taking a trip up to lake, even just to sit by the shore for a while, not necessarily your worst plan to navigate. For Gemini, let's see what kind of energies you need to embody or unblock to survive your retrograde. All right, so we have an upright Vesta and a reverse Hathor. So Vesta, typically her message is your household situation is improving either through a move or a healthy change in the occupants. So definitely telling me that as far as your home life, let it be what it is. It's really not that bad. It's actually improving during your retrograde. And for Hathor, typically her message is allow yourself to receive. This will increase your intuition, energy, and ability to give to others. So it definitely looks like you're going to be, I am praying, subconsciously blocking all of these blessings, when in reality, it might be time to actually enjoy and go with them. So, Gemini people, whereas most of us have an insane household, take yours and enjoy it. And if you're able to enjoy this, your inability to receive all the blessings is definitely going to change. All right, next up is Cancer. For our Cancer folks, we have a reverse Bast. Typically, her message is your independence is a foundation for your strength and success. Much like our other guys, you're going to be feeling about as weak as a 2-day-old kitten. So, Cancer people, where do you typically draw strength from? Your spirit guides, your best friend? Do you draw strength from meditation? Go to your PowerPoints and really, really dive into them, because you're not powerless. You're just kind of feeling a little out of sorts. For our Leos, and Sun, Moon, or Rising, a Leo is a Leo. And I am sorry, but we are definitely going to be narrow down. We're going to narrow down this message a little bit for our Leos here, because that's a little redonkulous. And apparently I'm not allowed to narrow it down because we had pretty much the same number fall right back out. So for our Leo people, you have a reverse Nematoa, you have Unag, reverse Irene, and Maeve. So that's telling me that the two things that you're going to be having struggles with, typically Nematona is create an altar or visit a place of power to connect with the divine. And Irene, there's no worry. Everything is working beautifully. So it definitely looks like you're going to be having some severe disconnect with your spirit guides and your faith, and a hard time with that optimism. I understand. Whenever everything feels like it's going wrong, it is very hard to stay connected to your spirit guides, and it's even harder to think that there is an end to the insanity. But with Unag and Maeve, we have there is no need to hurry or force things to happen. Everything is occurring in perfect timing, and honor the cycles of your body, energy levels, and emotions. So, both of these are saying essentially the same thing. Respect the time that things are being given, okay? Respect that things do not happen on your time, they happen on the universe's time. And yes, that is a very hard pill to swallow. But if you're able to slow down, if you're able to know that things will happen when they will and how they will, that and that ability to find your optimism again will not be as difficult as it seems right now. So do your best to do everything that you have done, whether previously or in the beginning when you first start working with your spirit guides. Start doing those activities even more, and do yourself a favor, do even more exercises to calm the brain so that you can hear their messages. And then you will see that everything, whether in the way that you plan or in a way that will be beautiful later, is working exactly as it's supposed to be. For our Virgos, and I live with 3 Virgos, so Virgo is very near and dear to my tiny heart, even though, let me tell you, 3 Virgos and a Sag in one household, that gets a little nuts. A little nuts. But for our Virgo people, let's see what energies to unblock or embody for your retrograde. All right. So you guys have a reverse Ostara and reverse Bridget. Typically, their messages, respectively, are it is the perfect time for you to start new projects, access new ideas, and give birth to new conditions. And stand up for what you believe is right. So, right now, avoid new projects, avoid new pretty much anything like the plague right now. You are not in a good space. And a lot of that has to deal with the confusion of what do you believe in? What matters to you? You know, our priorities guy, you're somewhere right there with him or her. But right now, if you can avoid anything new, if you can avoid any life-changing possibilities and just kind of stick with just cooking the ideas, not necessarily acting on the ideas, heavily encourage. And to kind of help you just stick with the cooking plan and not the, hey, it is time to start some crazy new project. Don't do it. You have an upright Sulis, much like our Taurus friends. And just a quick reminder, that message was spend time near water, such as a lake, river, or the ocean, to recharge your batteries. So while you are definitely confused on your priorities, and that's fine, there's no judgment, don't start anything new. Try to avoid anything new and spend a lot of time near your local lake, a creek. If you're lucky enough to be near an ocean, hey, obviously on weather permitting days. And there is no shame in taking an extra 5 minutes in the shower to just connect with the water and let it soothe your very busy brain. Next up is our Libras, and just a heads up, I'll only be live for another 20 minutes, so if you would like to catch a personalized reading, don't be afraid to poke yourself in, because I can do a video for the others later on. But for Libras, as far as the energy that you guys need to either embody or unblock for your retrograde to be as easy as possible. Reverse butterfly maiden. Typically, her message is you are experiencing enormous change right now, which brings blessings. So, right now, my poor Libra people, you're probably dealing with a lot of stagnation and begging for a change in any direction. Be careful what you wish for. You might get it. That is actually a very, very, very true statement. So, right now, while things seem like crap, all things seem to be going in, if not a standstill, a wrong direction, ask yourself one very important question. Is it really stuck there, or are you just having retrograde brain? For our Scorpios. We have an reverse Ain and an upright Rhiannon. So looks like what you need to unblock. Typically, Ain is take a risk and put your heart's true desire into action. Definitely looks like you are afraid to make a move, which honestly, thank you, because retrograde is a terrible time for that with all the crazy wonky donkey energy going on. But keep in mind, you're not powerless, much like our other guy. You have just as much power as you did before. So trust that you are a magical person who can manifest clear intentions into reality. So while you are afraid to make a leap in any direction anywhere, highly recommend that you don't necessarily keep that fear, but keep in mind that this is not a good time for stuff. Also remember that should you actually want to and know without the retrograde brain that it is the right decision, the right way to go, jump your happy self in there and get that manifestation going on. For our Sagittariuses. Goodness. So for my Sagittarius, we have a Lakshmi and Arakura. Their messages, respectively, are stop worrying, everything is going to be fine, and you are just getting started, so have patience with yourself and the process and do not give up. So, much like our other guys earlier, quite honestly, have faith in the system, have not necessarily the physical system, but have faith in the system of the universe and that things are going how they're supposed to. It is very difficult. It is very difficult, especially when some of us still have seasonal affective going on. Some of us have just been smacked every which way to Sunday and back again just by the shadow period. And trust me, with how many people I've been talking to, it's really not just you. But as difficult as it is right now, Sagittarius, it will be okay. Follow the system, follow the process, and most importantly, double check yourself along the way. Back up everything along the way. I know it's not much advice and it seems like a crock of crazy, but that's what your spirit guides are telling you right now, baby. For Capricorn, for our sea goats, what do you need to embody or unblock to make retrograde as easy as possible? All right. So it definitely looks like a lot of us just need to have faith in our spirit guides because our Capricorns have a reverse Mother Mary. Typically, her messages have faith that your prayers have been heard and are being answered. That's the energy that you need to unblock, my friend. You need to trust that your spirit guides are hearing that they are doing what they can to help you through the situation. Do some exercises. Cool your jets, cool the gerbil in your head, and ask yourself, am I missing all of these spirit guide messages because my brain is too busy and I'm too busy freaking out? Or is sometimes no answer the answer? It's annoying, but trust me, I've even dealt with myself a few times where no answer was the answer. All right, Aquarius. Excuse me. Reverse Aphrodite. So the energy that you guys need to unblock. Aphrodite's message is typically awaken the goddess within you through dance, self-care, and appreciating your divinity. You're kind of blocked from doing that for whatever reason, whether your schedule is too busy, whether you think that you don't deserve the extra break, or whether you think you're powerless. Whatever those reasons are, get to the root of them and ask yourself, why do I think that I am not as fabulous as I truly am? Or why do I think I don't deserve self-care? Get to the root of that so that we can turn this into a you are dancing and looking gorgeous. And for our Pisces people, by the way, if you've had a birthday in the last couple of days or today, happy birthday. Gotta say that I've had a few amazing Pisces friends over the years, so. But for our Pisces people, the energy to embody or unblock. Goodness. Let's see if we can't narrow that down because 8 cards is a little excessive. Okay. You've got 2 things to unblock, my darlings. Reverse Hathor and reverse Pele. So just a quick refresher. Hathor is typically allow yourself to receive. This will increase your intuition, energy, and ability to give to others. And Pele, typically her message is be honest with yourself and what's your heart's desire. So it definitely looks like your confusion about what you really want, your confusion about what is really your end goal is causing your inability to receive the blessings that you could be. And you know what? Valid. Sometimes it's hard to know what we want in this life. It's hard to know for sure what is really going to actually make us happy. Because this life isn't just about work and the next task and the next task. Take this retrograde to ask yourself, what's really important to me? What do I really want out of this life? And once you figure that out, you'll be able to receive. But I am sorry, guys. I'm going to be jumping off here. Hopefully, whoever catches the replay enjoys it. And until next Wednesday, have a fabulous rest of your week. Don't forget, I do these every Wednesday, 6 p.m. And I will see all of you again soon.